Current state of gaming technology, what we can replace using blockchain technology, a quick overview of the technology that BitBoss has developed, and then finally, why we specifically chose to develop on the BSV blockchain. So you'll hear me refer to BSV, blockchain, Bitcoin. When I say that, I'm referring to one thing, and it's the BSV chain. So this is going to seem really simple, but we'll review it anyway. Why do we run centralized gaming platforms? Well, it's just the way it started, right? We needed to store customers' identities. We needed to know a customer's balance. We needed to know how much they played so we can pay content providers. And we need to just track the customer's wins and losses. So it was easy. We had centralized databases. The internet was basically developed as a decentralized platform, but it became very centralized very quickly. And then we ran into some technical issues. Things got a little hairy as more value was stored in centralized places. It became more of a target. So we have things like DDoS attacks, right? If we're running a centralized gaming platform and it has a URL or a domain name, it becomes a very easy target for hackers or DDoSers to attack us and try to shut us down, tick off our customers, make us look bad. So Cloudflare, I think everybody in here probably knows who Cloudflare is, went public, and it has a $5 billion market cap. And it has a $5 billion market cap because there's so many people in the world trying to shut down our centralized systems and our centralized gaming platforms. And it costs a lot of money. Also, with centralized systems, we're easily hacked. We're storing all our customer data, all our customer value in one spot. So all that hacker has to do is get into that one server, that one database, and all of a sudden we're fully exposed, and our client base is extremely vulnerable, especially in gaming. We have a lot of money, we have a lot of knowledge of our customers. People are always trying to steal customers, get into our database so they can then market to those people. So it's a massive central point of failure. When we run centralized systems, we have a lot of maintenance. Technology is always changing. Programming languages are changing. Interfaces are changing. It's a continual battle to stay ahead of the game, to patch weaknesses and things like that. So what can we do using blockchain technology to make this a better system? We think that the BSV chain is ideal for eliminating a lot of these central points of failure, and I'll explain why. So currently, we need to know and store our customers' identities. It makes total sense. It's obvious. They're all in a big database. With BSV, our customers use their wallets to prove their identity. We're not storing their identity. They're proving to us who they actually are using a cryptographic signature that emanates out of their wallet. With the current system, we need to know our customer balances. We store our customer balances in our databases. Made a lot of sense, but in the crypto world, it doesn't make much sense anymore. So with BSV, our customer balances are stored in the blockchain. We really don't have access as operators to the customer balances. The customers store their own balance. The chain really stores the balance, and the customers control the balance through the wallet. Currently, with central databases, we track wins and losses. Just go into the database, scan through all the transactions for a customer, and you know how they did. With a blockchain, all those transactions are now visible to the entire world. Now, some people say this isn't a good thing. A lot of people are going to start to see it as a good thing as regulators dig more and more into our businesses. And it also helps with dispute resolution. Because when there's a central immutable data store, and we give customers access easily to that data store, they can go to a block explorer. I'll talk about that in a little while. They can go to the block explorer. They can see all their transactions. Did my transaction make it in time? Did I get my bet in before that event happened in a game? Did I get my bet in before the cards were flipped? Also, we have content providers. So right now we're tracking how much people are actually playing the content that we go out and license. Because when we license content, we have to pay the content providers. And it leads to a little bit of an issue where content providers have to create RGSs and a lot of technology to make sure they're actually getting paid fairly. This can all be eliminated with BSV. When every transaction is recorded on the blockchain, a content provider can prove to themselves within milliseconds of a transaction happening whether they should be paid. And in fact, we can enable payment on the spot so that content providers don't have to wait for mailbox money. They can just get paid in crypto immediately right into their wallets. So there's some ancillary benefits to using blockchain as well. So I talked about Cloudflare, DDoS attacks. We spend a lot of money protecting these centralized systems. It's going to go the way of the dinosaur, and I'll explain why. It has a lot to do with Batman. So when Gotham City wanted to get Batman to help them out, they would broadcast a signal into the sky. And then Batman would look up in the sky, and he'd show up, and he'd come to the rescue. Blockchain and gambling works a lot like that. The customer broadcasts the transaction to the chain. As the online casino, we watch the chain, and when we see the transactions come in, then we process them. There's no direct connection between the player and the casino. In fact, there's really no connection to the casino from the outside world. The casino just has to be viewing the blockchain. It eliminates a huge central point of failure. And it's a really big concept to understand in blockchain-based gambling. So the next two slides kind of go hand in hand, content and remote game servers. Most people in here probably know that as a content provider, if you want to offer your content to a gaming platform, you need to develop your own remote gaming server. It costs a lot of money. You have to update it, you have to maintain it, you have to integrate your RGS with a back-end platform. And we do this because the content providers need to make sure that every time somebody plays their content, they're going to get paid. They don't necessarily trust the large white label casino operators. So in the blockchain-based world, we have something called smart contracts. We prefer a certain implementation called the tokenized smart contract. And what happens is we can give content providers access to these open source tokenized smart contracts. They effectively function as remote game servers. And as a small content provider, it really helps because you don't have to spend a lot of money on RGSs. You don't have to spend a lot of money and time integrating. You don't have to spend a lot of time maintaining your RGS. You can simply go grab a smart contract, a tokenized smart contract. It integrates into the BSV blockchain, and then you can worry about just content. You don't have to worry about maintenance and making sure you're getting paid properly. You're going to see all your transactions on the blockchain in real time. So there's also a new kind of concept that's coming to the forefront where the wallet in crypto is extremely important. In fact, it's my view that the wallet is actually the gaming platform. When you start to take all the functionality out of a centralized server, when you start to take out when people don't have to log in anymore, when they can self-certify who they are using their wallet, when they store their own balances through their wallet, you're taking away a lot of the functionality that we need to maintain on the server side, and you're moving it actually to the wallet. It's a big concept, and when you do that, you're really becoming mobile first. As people are storing value on their phone, as people are logging in not logging in, self-certifying on their phone, it becomes a very good marketing tool as well. Because we all want our customers to be pulling out that phone. We want to have that constant contact with customers. And the more value we can get people to store on their phones, the better off we're going to be. A little formatting error there. So now I'm just going to quickly talk about what technology BitBoss has actually created based on the BSV blockchain and kind of why we did it. So we have 4 key components at BitBoss. We call it the Bridge platform. We have the Bridge wallet. We've talked about that. We have the Bridge Vault, which is basically a back-end casino-centric wallet. We have the Bridge Link. Bridge Link is a small, inexpensive device that we install into slot machines. It speaks SAS protocol, so it easily integrates with the casinos. And then we have our mobile ecosystem. We've developed lottery games. We've developed roulette games. We've developed baccarat games. We have slot machines coming. So all these games integrate tightly, very tightly into the crypto wallet. So we think that the crypto wallet is going to start to replace messaging apps and things like that in the future as people start to see crypto more as a day-to-day payment mechanism, replacing cash or credit cards. You're going to want to have your casino platform tightly integrated into that crypto wallet. So I'm just going to play a quick, 30-second video of the Bridge device working right now. What you're going to see is the use of BSV and tokenized, stored in a crypto wallet, being transferred on and off a slot machine. So just a simple password, PIN number. Customer has 955 credits. I'm going to transfer 50 credits onto a slot machine. Transfer another 100 credits. You can see how quickly this is all happening. This is using a public blockchain in real time. Then we're going to withdraw the credits back into the wallet, and that should be the end of it. So that was a real slot machine, a real crypto wallet, the BSV blockchain over public services on the public internet. It's about as real world as you can get. So why is this important? I know this is an online gaming convention. We still have the physical land-based world to deal with. There's 10 million slot machines in the world. That's 10 million points of contact between the online world and gamblers. If you can get a casino to implement Bridge, you can get the casino to implement your version of a wallet, all of a sudden the conversion from the online world, from the physical land-based world to the online world becomes very easy. Physical casinos are also really good at handling money. They're great at AML. They're great at KYC. They've been doing it longer than we have. So we think this is a really good way to start to move clients easily from the physical land-based world to the online world and grow BSV adoption and crypto adoption. So another concept of the blockchain world is something called a block explorer. We've created our own block explorer, but there's many, many block explorers out there for all the different chains. There's some really good ones for the BSV chain. And what block explorers allow people to do, players to do, is look at their gaming transactions in real time. It's an independent third party. The blockchain is an immutable source of truth. All the transactions, once they're on the chain, they can never be changed. So as a player, if you have a dispute or a question about your transactions, you don't need to call your online casino anymore. You can go to any block explorer. You can match up the transaction ID in your crypto wallet with a transaction ID on a block explorer, and you can see if your bet made it on time or not. You can see if you bet 20 euros versus 30 euros. It's a great way to start to move clients in the blockchain direction because it helps give them more visibility into what's actually happening. They never care when they win, but when they lose, they always have a problem. So block explorers can help us eliminate that. The other main function of a block explorer in the gaming world is the fact that we can do something called provably fair. So provably fair has been around for quite a while. It's just a way to prove to people that the random number generator or the pseudo-random number generator was fair, and that they got a fair roll of dice or a deal of cards or wherever it may be. With tight integration with a crypto wallet, you can actually link people to block explorers, and you can prove to them that they get a fair deal. So I mean, this is just a little graphic of what we've developed. We started out doing lottery, made a lot of sense, it's very easy. We moved into baccarat, now we have roulette, and soon to be slot machines. We think it's the first real money gambling platform developed for the BSV blockchain. So I think the main takeaway from all this is that the blockchain itself, it gives you a common data layer, it gives you a common security layer, and it gives you a common transaction layer. And it does it for fractions of a penny. I mean, I can do 1,000, 2,000 transactions for $1 on BSV. I think you heard a few panels ago that EOS, somebody was developing a gaming platform on EOS and ran into trouble because the fees shot up and it became impossible to run a real commercial business on a blockchain where you could not easily predict how much fees were going to be. With BSV, you can go directly to miners and you can negotiate fees. So in our case, if we have a casino sign up, we kind of look at how many transactions that we think they're going to do on a yearly basis, replacing the ticketing system in slot machines. Then we go to the miners, we negotiate a fee for those transactions, or we negotiate a fee for 2 or 3 years out into the future. So if I can do all this for fractions of a penny per transaction without having to worry about managing and running back-end systems, without having to worry about my customers' money being stolen out of a database or a fat finger or a dishonest employee. I don't have to worry about creating my own audit trails. Why wouldn't you start to think about a blockchain-based system? Time? Okay. Okay, so I think I ran a little long. I'm just going to blow through some of this really quickly about why BSV really helps out with gaming. First thing is regulators. Everybody thinks regulators don't like blockchain. If you think that, you should go to China right now. The Chinese lottery, the welfare lottery, and the sports lottery are both heavily promoting blockchain-based systems to help prevent theft from regional lotteries. Cost, I just went over cost, and people think this is anonymous. It's really not. It can be as anonymous as you want it to be. But for the most part, you can include KYC and AML right into the wallet. There's a company called Legally Chain that everybody should take a look at. I think I'll skip this one quickly. I just want to talk quickly about inputs and outputs. People think that block times matter. That's why EOS and Tron were created, because they made much quicker block times. But to do that, they had to change how blockchains worked. They went from proof of work to proof of stake, which means that all you had to do was own enough of that particular cryptocurrency, and you could determine what happened on the chain. With BSV, it's proof of work. You can just go out and buy yourself a bunch of ASIC miners and get into the game, and you can start to mine and be part of the system. So with gaming, what we do is we take the output from a customer's transaction and we use it as the input to pay them back. Now, without getting into what outputs and inputs mean in a crypto world, it's a really important thing, because to us, we don't care about block times. We don't care about clients double spending, and we're able to run our casino extremely quickly, and we run it on the BSV chain, which has massive amounts of throughput and capacity. So it's one of the key benefits of BSV. And I'll skip through this. And then lastly, I talked about provably fair. We can allow customers on this chain to easily prove to themselves that they got a fair deal. The reason we can do it on BSV is because it has a large op return. We can include all the data we need to make that process work and for people to check with block explorers. And I'll skip that. So just, in closing, BitBoss and BSV are eliminating the need for traditional client-server architecture. And this is definitely a blockchain and an architecture that everybody should start to look at. Thank you.